Among many infrastructure projects in Kazakhstan, the Nurly zhol program undoubtedly occupies a special place. For any state that has recently defended its own sovereignty, the formation of a reliable economic policy is of paramount importance. In the first years of independence, Kazakhstan, as a former Soviet Union republic, faced the acute issue of reorienting the entire economic model to its own needs. After all, if the Kazakh SSR, being part of the Soviet Union, responded to the requests of the center, then independent Kazakhstan was required first of all to act in its own interests and the interests of its population. This is largely due to the problems that faced the leadership of the republic after the collapse of the USSR. The individual regions of Kazakhstan were economically more connected to the adjacent regions of Kyrgyzstan, Russia, and Uzbekistan than to each other. Hence, the main tactical task for the newly independent state of Kazakhstan was to strengthen the interconnectedness of individual regions of the country with each other. At the same time, Nursultan Nazarbayev, as president, was going to meet the tactical needs of the state and to observe its strategic interests. Therefore, the road infrastructure was originally created not only to connect certain regions of Kazakhstan with each other, but also with an eye to becoming our country's Eurasian transit territory, through which goods will go from east to west and from north to south. However, we should not forget that the issue of expanding the transport potential was of great importance, not only in the context of external contacts of the Republic, but also in terms of meeting domestic demand. Kazakhstan is one of the largest countries in the world. Therefore, the problem of the remoteness of regions from each other has never lost its relevance, and the integration of internal territories was initially considered as one of the main priorities of the state in the economic sphere. The head of state succinctly described the situation. The more people will travel, the more activity will be in the economy. Moreover, the implementation of the project to restore the Republic as a transport hub primarily depended on the infrastructure readiness of our state. In other words, the task of creating international transport corridors required the presence of communication facilities within the country itself. Against this background, new roads, railways, and airports began to appear. As a result, in November 2014, the first president of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, presented the new economic program, Nurly zhol, to the public during his annual address to the people of the country.
Сегодня, отвечая на вызовы, которые стоят перед нами, я объявляю о новой экономической политике Казахстана Nurly zhol. В годы, когда ситуация на внешних рынках благоприятствовала, а цены на нефть и все экспортные наши продукции были на хорошем уровне, мы экономили средства, отправляя полученные деньги от наших недр в национальный фонд. Сейчас наступает тот самый период, когда мы должны использовать эти резервы на благо народа, защищаясь от наступающего кризиса. А именно, на развитие транспортной, энергетической, индустриальной, социальной инфраструктуры, малого и среднего бизнеса.
In April of the following year, the program was officially approved by the decree of the head of state. The main goal of Nurly zhol was the formation of a single economic market through integration of the country's macro regions on the basis of building an effective national infrastructure. Naturally, the implementation of such tasks involved the creation of transport communications that would facilitate the connection of the internal territories of the Republic with each other. The adoption of Nurly zhol was a very timely step. Shortly before this event in 2013, Chinese leader Xi Jinping, at a speech at Nazarbayev University, publicly launched the One Belt and One Road initiative for the first time.
Чтобы укрепить экономические связи, мы должны применять новые модели сотрудничества, сформировав экономическую полосу шелкового пути. Начать это мы могли бы со следующих конкретных шагов: постепенно расширить сферы взаимодействия и выходить на полномасштабное сотрудничество в регионе.
At large, the main idea of this project was to revive the historical Silk Road. It is not surprising that the central place in this plan was given to Kazakhstan, which historically occupied an important place on the ancient trade artery connecting all parts of the world. At the moment, a lot of work has been done under this program. The country's transport infrastructure has made a qualitative leap in its development. More than 500,000 workplaces were created, nearly 100,000 of which were permanent. Today, all these implemented projects bring Kazakhstan significant income, which in turn contributes to the diversification of the country's raw materials economy. The results of the first 5-year plan fully confirm the correctness of the decision of Nursultan Nazarbayev regarding the adoption of the Nurly zhol program. It is not surprising that today Kazakhstan has started to implement a second 5-year plan, which is aimed at further improving the country's transport infrastructure. At all times, the construction of roads has had a huge impact on the development of society. As in the case of Kazakhstan, the implementation of the Nurly zhol program in the long term can become a new driver of growth.